What is this monstrosity? It couldn't be a Gemini Jets Airbus A321, could it? With its really funky looking nose, oversized engines that looks like the aircraft just ate itself, crazy amount of wing flex, gears not in the correct position, and of course many of these coming broken to their customers. Oh look, Gemini Jets just released 2 new ones. Let's buy them and see if they're still trash. What is up there everybody, Citrus Aviation here for yet another video, and in today's video we are going to take a look at the Gemini Jets Airbus 321s. These are a mold that I have famously panned and disliked for a very long time because they have been truly terrible for the last several years, really the last almost 10 years. Gemini Jets made really bad versions of these. But they have some new ones. These are the A321s. In the American Airlines retros. These used to be Airbus 319s. American repainted them on Airbus 321s, and there are now models coming out of them. So I wanted to re-examine the A321 mold and take a look at, see if it's any better than what it has been in the past. And we're also going to score and take a look at one of the A321s that's not that great and give my thoughts on it. But let's start by taking a look at these A321s. These are new ones. I picked these up at the American Airlines Company store in Dallas, Texas. That is at Terminal C by Gate Charlie 2. And you can pick up model airplanes there. I just happened to pick them up there because it was convenient to do so. There are places that are cheaper, but it was just convenient because I was flying through DFW at the time. So here they are. This is of course with the current packaging that they have. I don't want to bore anyone with that, so let's just get on with it, take a look at the model. And here we have the 321. We have 2 today. We have the Piedmont Retro, and then there is the PSA Retro. So both of these came out the same month. I believe these were very recent. All right, there we go. There is the PSA. And they just announced the Allegheny, and I assume the America West and the US Airways Retro will come soon thereafter. We're going to start the close looks here at the PSA Retro. This is the Airbus 321. And of course, one of the cool things about the PSA livery, which is replicated on this 321, is it was famous for having this really friendly smile on the front. So you can see the black nose cone, and then there was a literal smile across the nose of the airplane. I think that's really cute. And you can see it there. And it looks pretty nice on the airplane. The airplane's smiling. I just like that. Of course, there is the black cockpit anti-glare, which was something you saw in aircraft from that era. You don't really see it anymore, but it was something at the time, and you can see it's painted on this livery to replicate that. L1 door, nose gear. The nose gear on the current A321 is fine from my perspective. You have a forward antenna there up above the L1 door. You can see the One World logo, as American Airlines is a founding member of One World Alliance. One of the issues people have had is the nose shape, and it does look a little bit odd. In this variant, it actually looks alright. I've seen ones that are way worse, but this one looks alright. American Airlines billboard titles there. You have your first class section, and then you have the L1 door, and we have main cabin extra. That's what they call their premium economy class. You have the engines. These are the IE V2500s. Now, one of the benefits, now it wants to focus on the nose when I don't want to talk about it. This camera has selective focus, just like when the person you're talking to has selective hearing. Anyway, these engines are well proportioned and the correct size, which has been an issue with the A321 mold for quite some time. So they often have way oversized engines. The IEs though are not. I have a Spirit A321 from Gemini Jets where it has the correct sized engines because it has the IEs. Same thing here with these American ones. So these engines are the correct size, but the CFMs are way off. The wing root area is one of those areas of this mold that is kind of weak. As you can see, it looks okay, but it doesn't really show the proper curvature of the wing root area for the Airbus 321. It's a decent approximation of what it looks like, but it is missing some things. There's also an antenna missing on the other side that Gemini Jets chooses not to put on. The fence tip is nice though, it is well detailed and is the correct color. This would be that orange color there. L3 door. You can see we have 2 antennas here and we have the SATCOM box, which is nice to see. I haven't really seen Gemini Jets put the SATCOM boxes on their past A321 aircrafts, so seeing this is a nice detail to finally have. Tail number for this ship is November 582 Uniform Whiskey. This is a former US Airways Airbus 321. No underside antennas again, that's just the thing that Gemini Jets choose to do. Press relief valve, you can see that detail there on the underside. L4 door. PSA tail and logo, this is from their 1960s, 70s livery, which I really like. And APU housing detail, which looks really nice. On the other side, you can see forward and aft cargo compartment doors. Again, this doesn't look too bad. It definitely, when you have the IE engines on the Gemini Jets mold, it massively improves this model. And of course, Gemini Jets generally does a really nice job of printing on these models, and this model is no exception. This one looks very clean. That brings on to the Piedmont Retro. Again, a lot of similar details up front here, but this time it has Piedmont livery on it. You can see the wheels do roll. These seem to roll okay. A lot of the Gemini Jets wheels don't roll that well. This nose gear is kind of bouncy. And one of these mains is just, yeah, it's this one over here. This one is just on the starboard side. Something is not quite right there. One of the tiles looks like it is at an incorrect angle. It causes this thing to roll quite oddly. So the PSA one just kind of doesn't roll. This gear here on the starboard side doesn't roll. The others seem to roll okay, but there is some resistance. So definitely some issues with the rubber tiles there. Gonna take points off of both for that. Of course, we have the American Billboard titles once again. Nice livery here. Again, it's very similar things with the engines. These look a lot nicer. But of course, you can see once again, once again, you have the IE engines. These aren't as detailed some of the ones you can get now from like NG models or Panda or some of the other manufacturers. It's just kind of silver in there with the fan blade details. It's not bad, it's just not as good as competition now. Of course, we have the tail number here. I do like the addition of the SATCOM box. That is a nice improvement. Tail number for this puppy is November 581 Uniform Whiskey. Once again, another former US Airways A321. In fact, all of the 5 A321 retros are former US Airways ones. They're all right next to each other in their registration. Of course, we have the Piedmont titles there. I really like the Piedmont tail. I think that looks really nice. APU has detail, of course. Similar details on this side as on the other one. So again, overall, this mold is a very nice improvement. So let's go ahead and give this model the Citrus Caliber score. But first, let's compare it to one of the older A321s from a few years ago and kind of give an idea of what like one of the really bad ones looks like. So interestingly enough, in all of my years of doing these reviews and such, I don't think I've ever scored a Gemini Jets A321 before. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and score this one. This is the American A321. And I just want to give it as a baseline to compare the new A321s to. This is of course one of the infamous releases that many came broken and a lot of people had issues with theirs. Fortunately, mine did come in perfect condition, at least in terms of the quality of it, so it's going to get a better score than I think a lot of other people's versions would have. But this one still is indicative of the way the Gemini Jets A321 is. It leaves a lot to be desired. And here's the scorecard for it. You can see it scores a 71 out of 100. I did get the color on that square there where the score is. That's supposed to be the amber color, not that yellowish color. It's supposed to be like an amberish orange. But anyway, 71 out of 100 is actually really bad. I don't usually have models that score all the way down to 70s. And you can see there's a range of issues from the engines being way oversized, causing the accuracy to be down, to the mold just having some interesting quirks to it. Of course, the wing flex causes some issues. The wing and engine really is the big thing. It's really poor. Other than the wing being a nice mold, the engines are too big. The wheels don't really roll well. The wing is flexed up too high to be an aircraft that's on the ground, and that causes the main gears to also be tilted at an angle. It's just really, really bad. Aerials are fine, like it's got the antennas on the top but none on the bottom, and no SATCOM box. And so it just ends up resulting in the score of a 71 out of 100. This is a really, really poor example of what a model should look like. A 71 out of 100 is definitely not one that I recommend purchasing. In fact, I'd recommend avoiding something that scores this low if you can. But it was a necessity at the time, as you know, there really wasn't much available for American A321s, so I had to buy one. I know a lot of other people who bought it as well, just because like not too many options available if you want to get an American A321. That brings us on to this dual set of model aircraft here that Gemini Jets has released. These were released in March of 2024. I did look that up, was able to check. So these have been out for a couple months now, so I'm glad to finally get my hands on them. And the Allegheny from the April set is available now, so if you want to go check it out, it should be available at retail also, and I do hope to pick it up at some point. Don't know when that'll be. Currently in a process of moving once again, but yeah. So that's a thing. These two models are out, and so you might be wondering, okay, are these improved over the old one? Well, I have the scorecards for them out. We're gonna get started here with the Piedmont, because the Piedmont PSA models both scored the same. The quality on them is actually really good because, well, nothing broke. They all came intact as they should. And the paint, once again, is really good. As Gemini Jets, the paint and decal printing process is very, very good. They do a really nice job of that, for sure. The mold is improved on this one. I really feel like they've made like some small tweaks to it. So you can see the mold and the accuracy both get to 7 for both models. And that's just because like there's some small little tweaks. The nose is still kind of an odd shape. It's not really like the proper level of like rounded dome like it should be on the Airbus. But it does feel like it's slightly improved. The engine's just being changed from the CFMs to the IAEs. Being more correctly sized is a massive improvement. They're probably still a little bit too large, but overall, it looks a lot closer. For a scale model airplane, the size of them is perfectly acceptable, and that just makes it look a lot better. Of course, the wings are now leveled correctly to what an Airbus A321 parked on the ground looks like, and that just makes the landing gear properly straight, that makes the wing look proper, it just makes the model look a lot better. And of course, it gets a higher score with the aerials because with this one, you can see we have a SATCOM box finally. Yay! The SATCOM box finally appears on the rear of the aircraft. So that is nice to see. The SATCOM box is finally there. And that's basically it. I should mention the gear still gets an 8 out of 10 due to both of the starboard side bogies not really wanting to properly roll on these models. So it's just one of those things where it's just quality that needs to be improved overall. And yeah, collectability also only gets a 7 for both because Aero Classics has released their versions, and those are actually super affordable. They actually have them on sale if you want to pick them up for just 20 bucks. So if you want to pick up the Aero Classics version, you can pick them up for $20 each. That's actually a pretty solid deal. And the assumption is that NG models will be making their variant of these aircraft in the near future as well. So yeah, if you want to pick up what will be probably the best versions, get the NG ones. Those will be better than the Gemini ones. But I'm probably just going to pick up the Gemini ones because I can get some decent deals on them online. And these do look actually fairly decent. Of course, they did a very nice job with deliveries on these. These are very, very accurate to the actual aircraft are flying out in service right now. And so overall, these score both an 80 out of 100, which is what I consider to be my fleet builders. If you just want to get some solid molds, nothing special. Of course, these are not going to be as good as the eventual NG effort, but these are decent models. So if you just want to get some decent models of if you just want to get some decent models of the American Retro A321s, these are some good options. 3 of them are available. I have the PSA and Piedmont here. If you want to get the Allegheny one, that'll be awesome. That's available now, and I assume the America West and US Airways versions will come out in the near future. So what do you think of these models? Do you think I rated them fairly? And let me know in the comment section down below. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless you.